What's up, everyone? I'm Scott,
I'm Jason.
and you're listening to Liquid Kernedge.
Oh my gosh.
What's up, my
we
friend?
had a great time last weekend. I got to see you for a little bit. It was your birthday weekend. It was really nice. We moved
a car.
Much bigger.
We did. It wasn't a big car. It was a 1990
1996 Honda Del Sol, and that sucker was heavier than what I thought it was going to be. That's for sure.
Yeah. For a car that looks like it belongs in the Fast and the Furious franchise, man. I don't know how that car goes so fast.
Yeah, we got rid of it, though. It worked out good. And then we got to spend some time together that night. It was fun.
Yeah, that's right. And then Sunday night, for some extra fun, I decided to hit myself a little bit of a flu bug. So I spent Monday and half of Tuesday out of commission. But, if you ever want to lose 5 pounds real quick, I can give you some great tips. Just get sick, baby. That's all you got to do.
Gosh,
that's all you got to do.
Yeah, I've had that experience. I don't like that experience. And you think you're going to die, right? You think you're going to die. And then 3 days later, you're like, give me some food. I'm starving. So it'll pass.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. I got sick Thanksgiving week a few months back, and I thought I was going to die. Like, that's probably the sickest I've ever been as an adult. It took me down for 3 days. And I was in bed. I was laying there. I thought I wanted to die. And this, I thought would be a walk in the park, but no, it still hurt. I still slept a lot. I managed to wake up in time to start watching Van Helsing, the old Hugh Jackman movie on HBO, and I passed out halfway through, so I don't think I missed anything.
That reminds me of one time I was about ready to go on a cruise, and I started getting that feeling of just utter, like, the chills. I was shaking. It was so bad. When I got on the boat, I immediately did one of those it's like a massage, but they like take out all the toxins out of your pores and like make sweat. And literally, I slept that night, the first night, and then I was fine the rest of the week.
Do you believe in that? In those cleanses, those purifying cleanses where they get the toxins out of your system?
I'll say this: one time, there was a video out that came up, a video that came out, like a documentary about juicing. And the guy went on like a 90-day juice purge or something like that, where he only consumed juices. He didn't eat any food. All he did was do juices all the time. He lost like 150 pounds, but he said one of the biggest things he noticed was that it purged every single toxin out of his body, and he felt clean. So I kind of do. I think the thing I have a problem with is I start to feel better, but then I miss the foods that are bad for me.
Yeah.
But I do. I do.
No, I get that, man.
I think the purges are good.
I did a January challenge just to try to get back on track from the holidays. And it was a 30-day, like, no grain, no artificial sugars, eat a certain amount of vegetables every day. And I lost weight from it. I felt great because I didn't have any grains, or I ate way more vegetables. I had some issues with the sugars, but I felt a lot better once I started getting that stuff out of my system, because you kind of cleanse your body of it. And now that we're into February, every day when I go to lunch, it makes me think a little bit harder about what it is I want to eat, because if I put that stuff back in my system, am I going to go back to feeling the way I was before, which was not ideal.
I remember the same thing happened when I went on Weight Watchers. It's not that you don't have to eat, you can't eat bad foods, but everything has a point system. But because you eat healthier foods, my body felt a lot better. I mean, it definitely felt that.
And it's just kind of cool to see how it all works, and it's encouraging to keep yourself going when you see the results and you feel the results on that. But dude, if I did a 90-day juice cleanse and I lost 150 pounds, I would be 100 pounds, bro. That would be that's scary.
He was a lot heavier though, so I mean, you probably would lose like 100 pounds, maybe. No,
that's still not okay.
Weight? Like if you,
I think I probably need about 200. I'm not saying I'm not fat, but I could probably lose 50 pounds and still not look like a white Ethiopian. I don't know. That's kind of hard to see. Maybe 220. I don't know. I've got a bigger frame than most people.
I'm thinking, like, for me, 170 would be an ideal weight, because I'm kind of a stockier guy, and I'm much heavier than that. I probably need to lose 35 pounds to get there. And as we get older, though, things change.
And that's exactly the mindsets change, and the mindsets for working out change, and what you want to do, and like where you want to go on vacations, and how you want to eat and treat your body. It's interesting for me. Like, I watch my parents. My mom has always been very much a an authoritarian on what my dad eats for dinner and for breakfast, and making sure he has the right stuff, so he has enough of the oatmeal and the fruits and the vegetables and healthy heart stuff. And I've noticed over the last couple of years, as they've retired and gotten older, she's changed that mindset to kind of fuck it. We're still going to do it most of the time, but I don't think it's that big of a deal all the time now, because we're all going to die at some point.
You brought up the vacations. I just went on a cruise with Sam and Taylor and a couple of their friends and Noreen and I. It was Sam's 30th birthday. And okay, so we're in our late 40s, early 50s, and we're partying with people in their, early 20s to early 30s. The idea of what you do on a vacation is a lot different in that age discrepancy.
Oh my God, isn't it though?
It was painfully obvious that for the first time, usually, hey, I can party, I can drink, I can do it. This cruise is painfully obvious that one, I don't have the skills like I used to, and two, I wasn't desirous of the skills to do it either.
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. I've realized as I get older, there's certain things I want to go do for a vacation that I didn't necessarily want to do 10 years ago. And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with not having to go out and get completely hammered at whatever beach
What do
bar
you
I go
think the
to.
biggest changes from the Scott 10 years ago to now in terms of a vacation? Because you vacation quite a bit.
I try, man. I don't take a lot. Being just myself, I don't really ever think about taking vacations. I take a couple days off here and there and go to the mountains, occasionally go to the ocean, sometimes Vegas, but nothing serious. I don't know, man. I don't need the fast paced go where it's wild anymore. I prefer to go. I want to see some of the sights and see some of the cooler things. Like over Labor Day, a group of us went to wine country down in Southern California, and I had more fun checking out the wineries and looking at all that stuff in downtown Temecula, and then hanging out by the beach afterward than I would have had we gone on the distillery crawls or whatever else they had.
Yeah,
downtown.
I was gonna say, I think that's my biggest thing that I've noticed is different, is that sense of I don't need to like go when I'm on vacation, and hit it hard.
Yeah.
I like one time we went on a vacation and I probably spent 3 days doing a lot of nothing, just reading or sitting by the pool, and doing a lot of nothing. That's not me. I mean, when I was a younger vacationer, it was you get as much in as you possibly can, or else you're not getting a full vacation, man.
Yeah, and I had that same experience in that same trip to California, where there were, I think, 9 of us went. So we only had limited vehicles, and you kind of had to plan if you wanted to go somewhere. And there were a couple days where most of us just stayed around the resort and around the pool, and that was fine. And I'm like you, I'm not wired to sit still. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm usually, my mind's going a million miles an hour, and I want to get as much in while I can. But it was kind of a nice change just to kind of sit there and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Now I will say, so we went on this cruise, and obviously Noreen and I were the ones that were like in bed early. They were just getting started, and we were like wrapping it up and done. So that was a big obvious difference between the young and the old. But I think the other thing that was a difference is like when we did our excursions, we paid someone to take us on a private tour of the cities that we went to. We did our own thing. And there were a couple times where they said, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done that, because all we did was went to a bar and just kind of partied it up. Whereas we did something outside of just partying up at a bar. So I think that we were a little envious of them because of all their energy, but they were a little envious of us because we added, like, we went to one place, we just went to a really nice restaurant that was right overlooking like a little creek, but it was a little bit
Mm-hmm.
higher quality restaurant, and it was just so nice, and we relaxed and had a great, oh my gosh, Noreen got this shrimp dish, like the fresh seafood dish, and it was utterly amazing. And when we were talking, we came back to the boat and we're talking about it, and they were like, "Oh man, I wish we would have gone with you. We just went to a bar." Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's age
Yeah,
versus experience.
yeah.
It's I started looking at vacations for myself this year because I decided this year that I'm going to take at least a week off every quarter.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to take the time off to make sure I get the chance to rest, to recharge, and go out and enjoy myself. Because I've been terrible about doing that. Usually I just buy back vacation time from my employer. I don't take it like I'm supposed to. And well, it's nice for the bank account. It's not good for me mentally. So I've been looking at going to San Diego for a couple days just to go watch baseball.
Oh, awesome.
You know, it's no big deal. I've been to that ballpark. It's a beautiful ballpark. It's a great city just to be in. Period. They've amazing food, amazing scenery, and the
I
weather's
like the
always
downtown
nice.
area in San Diego too. It's really clean.
Yeah,
Like for a big city, it's pretty well kept down there. Like the Gaslamp district is really clean, and it's really nice down there.
yeah, and that's kind of what I was looking at. It reminds me a lot of New Orleans, but like a power washed
Yeah, yeah.
newer
There you go.
New
There you go.
Orleans. That's the only way to really describe it. But I was looking at the Airbnbs down there and just that general area where I could walk to the ballpark and all that, and it's reasonable. It's like for 4 or 5 nights, I don't have to do anything during the day. They're all night games. I can go up, buy a ticket at the stadium because they're not selling out every night. And if I decide there's something else better to go do, I can go do that. And I don't have to be anywhere on anyone else's time. And I think that's the most important thing as I get older is that I don't have to be anywhere on anyone else's time when I'm on vacation.
But that's a hard thing though, because that's why if you go with a group, it's really hard to find those kind of people that have the same kind of travel, um, feelings as you do,
Mindset.
because you get with the wrong group and it causes frustration. It causes frustration.
Yeah, I think you
I've been
have
on,
to. I think you have to
yeah,
find that happy medium.
I've been on trips with people that I said I can't travel with them anymore because I didn't want to ruin my friendship by traveling with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's in the group, our social circle, the group I went to Temecula. Sorry, had a little brain lapse right there. We had to plan out the few days we wanted to do things and kind of left everything else up in the air, like, and just had everybody had options of what they wanted to do. And really, out of the 5 days, only maybe 2.5 were full of something to do. That way, people could pick and choose, or if you want to stay back at the resort, you could stay. It just kind of give you some options, which is always
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I'm trying to think of things that the new me, the older me, misses about the younger me's travel, and I think the only thing that I really miss is, do you remember when you were younger? Every place you went to was brand new, and you'd never seen it before,
Yeah.
and everything was, oh my gosh, look at this, and oh my gosh, look at that, and everything was exciting. As an older traveler, I don't have that same, like, oh wow, that that, oh look at that beach, or oh look at that beautiful scenery, because even if you haven't been to that place, you've seen a pretty beach before, or you've seen pretty scenery, and
Yeah.
I miss that excitement of being young and seeing something for the first time.
So when you were younger, and I'm talking like, you know, childhood, teenage years, Jason, if someone said you can take any dream vacation you want, where are you going to go?
Oh man. Well, when I was benefit. I had a chance to go to Europe for a 2 week bus tour vacation when I was 15. So I got to see Europe, which was my dream vacation. But frankly, New York was. I wanted to go to New York when I was 15. I just wanted to see it. I wanted to be in the city. I wanted to see all the the crowds and everything, and not for any particular reason other than I'm from a small town in Alaska, so seeing the largest city in the United States, that was like, oh, so exciting for me. Yeah, like
That's
that
big time.
that was so, and that was the pinnacle of everything I thought of was, man, I want to see New York City. I want to see the biggest city in the United States. That was my, how about you?
Yeah. When I was a kid, I thought like my dream vacation would, that week in Southern California where you go to Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm and Universal Studios and hang out at the beach. And, we never did that full loop like that. We just did it in little intermittent pieces. And then I thought, well, it'd be cool to go to Disney
Okay.
World. Because I grew up in the time of Michael Eisner's Disneyland and Disney productions where you have the Disney family movie of the week on NBC on Saturday nights or Sunday nights, whenever it was. And when I was a senior in high school, I got to go to Disney World in Orlando for the first time with all my friends for a school trip, and it was a total trip.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was a lot of fun because my parents didn't go. We got to go. I was a last minute addition, so I could slide in there with them because it was part of that U.S. First competition. But to me, that was the pinnacle because you got to go explore someplace new with your friends. That's across the country, and you just have like your first taste of real independence.
Do you know of any friends of yours that go to the same location every year? Yeah,
Yeah, I've got a couple.
I've always been kind of hesitant about that. We had some friends that they just loved Cabo San Lucas, so they went every year to the same hotel. They had a timeshare, I think, but they went to the same hotel. And I thought, man, I don't know, one year, and everyone knew their name. They knew all the hot spots in Cabo that were like the hole in the wall restaurants or the fun things to do. And I thought, going to the same place again and again, I can see why some people really enjoy that because they get to know a place versus going to a different place all the time. You never really grow into it.
I think it depends on the place you go to. I've been to New Orleans 3 years in a row now, and every time I go there, I say it's the last time I'm gonna go for a while because I just kind of need. It's been fun, but I think I've seen everything I need to see here, and then I go and I find something else to do or someplace else to go and check out, and like, oh crap, well, I do need to come back here sooner than later, and I can see why some people would want to go back to that same spot year after year after year. But I do believe that if you do that, that's fine. But you should still have someplace new you go every year.
I swear I would go to Temecula every year. If we used to do that, our timeshare, we would just use a week and go to Temecula. Now they changed it because they don't want us to use the place that we would normally go to. But yeah, the Temecula I would go to. But I think for the same reasons that you said is that you can relax there, or you can go out party there, or you can go to sports there, or the weather's beautiful there. I mean, there's so much that encompasses it. I don't know if I would have liked Temecula at 22.
Yeah, and I think that's an age thing. I don't know what resort you guys stay. It might be the same when we stay at the Welk Resort, but it's okay. So it's definitely got. Well, we've gone through different times of the summer or the seasons, and when the kids are out of school, it's a lot more youth friendly, I would say, versus when you go when school's in session and the senior citizens take over, like Locusts, and but it is at your own pace type resort because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And it's not close to a big city. I mean, it's kind of in the desert. It's definitely a drive to San Diego. It's 45 minutes, I think, to San Diego. Yeah.
Yeah, you're about 20 minutes outside Temecula and about 15 minutes outside Escondido. So you're kind of right there in the
So
middle.
is there one spot that you wish you could have gone to but haven't gone to yet?
I would like to see New England in the fall.
Like the leaves turning and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard great things about New England in the fall. I'd like to see that. I'd like to get back to Hawaii as an adult, and maybe Costa Rica. What about you?
I have to admit, I always, even to this day, I wonder what it would have been like to go to spring break in like Miami or Fort Lauderdale with all the craziness.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously now it wouldn't even be. I mean, it would be just embarrassing right now because I mean I wouldn't even fit in. But I think about when I was in college, what it would have been like to go to spring break in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, someplace where like a famous spring break locale.
Yeah, I thought about that too. When I was in college at Arizona State, uh, the big spring break spot was Lake Havasu,
Oh yeah,
right
yeah,
down the
yeah,
road
yeah.
from me. And Lake Havasu has always been a big spring break spot. And I never quite understood why, even back in the 90s when MTV had their MTV Spring Break down there and they brought Van Halen down there to do a concert. It never made sense to me because it's like Havasu.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
yeah. But I mean, I think just seeing all the
and
people, I mean, just seeing a bunch of young kids scantily dressed. If I was young again, I think I would make that a priority to go see that.
yeah, excuse me. Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think,
Oh,
oh, excuse me. Oh,
I was
a
gonna
little
say, boy, I
backlash
got
right
you.
there. I think it would be a priority for me too
Yeah.
in my younger days. But in my older days, no, man. All I do is I see a giant crowd I want no part of. And I know we're going to get notes on our EP calling us old man talk right there. But I think even he has to agree on that. There comes a certain point in life where you're like, you know what? I don't want to put up with that kind of crowd. I'm going to go someplace nice where I can relax and do
You
my
know,
own
I
thing.
think a big thing that plays into how our not aspirations, but how our moods change about travel is when you're young, you want to go someplace where it's pretty cheap or pretty cheap to go to. Like you get a group of 7
Yeah.
guys that go to a hotel room, you all pay $15 to get a massive hotel room and it's just a nonstop party. You bring a couple
Yeah.
fifths or whatever. When you get older, you have more money, right? You have more money, you want to
Yeah.
spend a little bit
You want
more.
nicer things.
You're not staying in hostels when you're in your 40s, right? Because it's like, okay,
Yeah. Well, if you are, you've got
or
problems.
you dig that, and some people dig that. I personally don't. I don't. Like there was one thing that on this cruise boat we got called, and we were asked if we wanted to upgrade our suite. And this new Carnival boat has a special section on the boat where it's kind of a private section of the boat. You all have like a walking path between all the like 5 or 6 suites. You have your own pool, you have your own kitchen, you have your own bar, and every room has got a.
So what good is that if you can't go grocery shopping
And
for that
but on the
stuff?
cruise boat, we were thinking because the price was, they said, hey, it's going to cost you this much to update or upgrade. And Noreen and I thought about it, like, well, we have a little extra money. Why don't we pay for it? We didn't, right? We got the room like everybody else. But I was thinking, when you're a little older, you have a little bit more money to spend to make it nicer. I don't know if I'm saying that
Yeah.
right. The idea of what.
No, you want to pay for the luxury more than you want to, because you're paying to relax. You're essentially, if you're on a cruise ship, that's your home for the next week. You don't get to like get in the car and go home. Like you're there, so you
and,
might as well
and
make the
maybe it
best of
leads
it.
back to what I was saying earlier, where when you're brand new, you're just happy to be on the boat. Oh my gosh, I bought the
Yeah,
liquor package, so I'm just happy to be on the boat. Whereas
yeah. 1 minute you're Leonardo DiCaprio snagging that ticket to get on
yeah,
the Titanic.
and
The next guy, the next year or next time you're on it, you're the guy in first class looking at the kids like that, wondering why are you
yeah,
so
like
excited?
you guys are excited for living in the hull of the boat. We're living on the balcony. We have learned our lessons about what is considered a quality vacation.
Exactly. I always thought it'd be fun for a fun vacation for me for one of those weeks off is just to fly somewhere back east, rent a car, and just drive home.
Oh, that would be fun.
Just to drive across the country, just to see what there is to offer. Stop at the world's largest frying pan. Maybe find some diners, drive-ins, and dives restaurants along the way, and just see America.
Yeah, I think my friend Adam up in Vegas, his goal or his bucket list is he wants to do the Appalachian Trail, where it
Mm-hmm.
starts in Georgia and finishes in Maine. It's a huge hiking trail.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
like the
like
Pacific
the
Trail.
Pacific Trail. There's the Rock or the Midwest Trail. There's one that goes through the Rockies. There's one that goes on the Pacific Coast, and then
Yeah,
there's one that goes on the East Coast. And I thought, you know, I could see myself doing something like that because I like the idea of being contemplative and being one with nature and just kind of thinking and maybe writing a little bit. Um,
is that where Jason Edgeworth writes the great American novel?
Possibly, or he just gets his feet blown out with blisters because it's a pretty long walk.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna call the title of that book, the great American novel, "Alone I Survive, Together We Thrive."
Wow, that
Wow.
always comes up in every podcast, man. Every podcast you make
Not
fun
every
of "Together I
podcast, but
Thrive" and "Alone I Survive." You know what? Let's
I'm
go
gonna
on
go
a
write something.
vacation. Let's go to that cliff. You look first. You look first.
So why don't our listeners tell us where they want to go on vacation? Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, all at Liquid Kernedge. What's your ideal adult vacation now versus when you were a younger adult or a late teenager? If you have an idea for the Liquid EP, Tom should take his vacation this year. Hit him up on Twitter and Instagram at liquid_EP.
I will say one thing, just kind of as we're wrapping this up. You said something that I think our listeners probably can relate to is we have the time. We need to take the time. We need to I've made it a habit now that I take off not only my birthday, but like 2 or 3 days of that week of my birthday. This year I'm thinking about taking the whole week off. Because you're right, you have to force yourself to do it. And I've made my birthday kind of a go get coffee when I want, read books, go to movies, do whatever I want to do, even if it's a staycation, just to enjoy the time. Because if you don't take the time, some companies you'll lose it. Like if you don't take it, you'll lose it, which is not good.
Yeah.
Some companies like yours, you do a bank, but then you're just, oh, I'd rather have the cash. I'd rather just have the cash.
Yeah.
And it's so important to take that time, whether you're going to on a first time trip somewhere or I'm going to the same place I go every year. Just taking that time is so important.
Yeah, and I think it's more about mental clarity too, and getting that time to unplug from your daily routine and daily life and walk away for a minute just to experience
I got
something
to admit,
else.
we talked about it before that I was on that cruise boat and didn't have the connection to life. Didn't miss it. I got to be honest, I didn't miss it. And it started making me reevaluate, vacation should be the time to disconnect from everything. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
getting off
Oh,
of
absolutely. Yeah.
every social platform and the political platform and just focusing on recharging the batteries. So
Yeah, and I think that's a huge thing to do. And as you get older, I think people learn to do that, or if they're not learning, they should take the time to try to make it happen because it's important for your own mental
now the good
well-being.
thing is that our podcast can be downloaded and you can listen to it anytime. So if you're on
Oh, that's
vacation
true.
and you don't want to be connected to the internet, but you want to listen to a couple guys just chat about vacations or the death of the mamba, hit us up, man. That's right.
That's right. That's right. I mean, we're very versatile. If you have anything you think we should talk about, any ideas, any tips, we love to hear your ideas for new shows. So don't hesitate to hit us up on our social media.
Awesome.
Why don't you go ahead? Why don't
All
you go ahead
right.
and take
Well,
us home,
hey, if
Jason?
anyone's out there listening to us on vacation, I hope you're having a great time. That was Scott. I am Jason. And as always, if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some Liquid Kernedge.